Hi, my name is Christian, also known as the Barefoot Doctor. This is Barefoot Medicine Training, Better Living Through Ancient Healing Secrets. The topic of today's short video is something that I guarantee no other doctor, medical professional, health and fitness, wellness guru has ever told you ever before. You are better off to have whatever serious chronic digestive condition you have right now than if you never got sick to begin with. Now, obviously, if you're a sane person, you may think that that's nuts. After all, who wants to deal with burning in your throat and acid and bile from acid reflux, from the bitter taste of waking up in the morning, from your sick belly and burning and gastritis in your gut and bloating and gas and the misery of something like IBS, etc., etc., etc. Who would want to suffer through that misery? How could that possibly be better for you? The reason is because there's one decision that makes it all worthwhile. Now let me explain. When you're sick with a serious chronic digestive illness, you have a very rare chance to emerge healthier, stronger, and smarter than you ever would have been, and to stay that way for years or even decades to come, even for the rest of your life. How? Why is that? Because illness will teach you things you simply will not learn any other way. It's that simple. That's why it's actually an advantage to get seriously ill, but only if you take action to solve it in a specific way. So here's a concrete example. No matter what your condition is, no matter what symptoms you're suffering with today, that could be bloating and gas, fatigue, difficulty swallowing, pressure in your chest where you feel like you can't take a deep breath, dry stools, postnasal drip, burning in your throat, all of the misery that comes with serious chronic illness. If you take that experience and you learn what I learned and what I teach other people now, which is what really causes all of that misery, and you learn it at a level that gives you power over cause and effect, which I talked about in another recent video, where you can figure out what action you're taking, what food you might be eating, what pattern of behavior you fall into that then causes your problem. If you break this down and you actually put two and two together and connect those two things, and you go, oh, this is causing that. This is causing this result. This cause is resulting in this outcome, and you make sense of that, and then you take steps to combine foods, to eat in a certain way, specifically a way that cancels out your symptoms, and you use the non-diet tips and tricks that I show you in my material, my online course, and in a special coaching program that I'll tell you more about in just a second that I've just created that gives you and me a chance to work together for your recovery. And you learn how to cancel out your symptoms. This process gives you more power than anything your doctor could ever do for you. In fact, you'll quickly realize that you don't need pills or doctor visits for your condition, because your body knows how to heal, and because you will have learned how to control and manage your organs, so your body does about 80 to 90% of the work, the hard work of healing, to get you well again. So even though, say, you started out at some point in the past with a serious digestive illness, you end up discovering how to have healthy digestion permanently, because you've unlocked a secret to something that most people will never discover. And I want to make 2 points about this. Number one, people ask me all the time, how did you get well? What's the best diet? What should I eat? Is this food good for me? The best diet for your condition is the diet that's best for you, according to your symptoms at the time that you're having those symptoms. And then when your symptoms change, you change to the new best diet, which is the diet that reflects the symptoms that you're having, and then what are called the disease mechanisms, which is the root imbalance inside you that's causing your illness. Now, this seems obvious when I talk about it here, or maybe it's not obvious to most people, because I guarantee that everything that you've been told about diet, everything that everybody says about diet, everything that you've ever read or come across with respect to what's the best diet for, again, losing weight, acid reflux, IBS, what is the diet for this condition, XYZ, fill in the blank. What diet helps with X? Always is presented to you as a list of magic foods. If you eat these foods, your reflux, your IBS, your whatever will go away. Meaning you're supposed to pretend that like only this list of foods will heal you, and you're only supposed to eat this for the rest of your life, and then that condition will heal and never come back, which is preposterous. Obviously, if I can just point out a few obvious things, the same food will affect two different people very differently. If you eat the same food at age 19 and eat it again at age 59, it does not have the same effect on you. I promise you. I promise you. The factor that all of these fad diets leave out is you. The main thing is, and the only way that you know what kind of effect a diet or a food combination is having on your body is by the symptoms it creates or doesn't create, or, in the best case, removes the symptoms and the condition that it heals. The absence of symptoms, because you're combining foods the right way, tells you that that is a good food combination for you. Now, this is not blind archery. There are ways to understand the effects of food that go way beyond the really mamby-pamby, modern, mainstream idea of, oh, it's a fat, it's a carb, or it's a protein, right? It's like, okay, but that's not very helpful because you end up with really dopey fad diet ideas like, oh, you should never eat carbs. What? What do you mean you should never eat carbs? What? What diet says you should never eat carbs? If you're having trouble with carbs, it probably isn't the carbs. Right? It probably has to do with whether you're moving your body or not. It probably has to do with some other area of your life. So far as we know, people have had carbs for a long, long fucking time. You don't cut out carbs and blame everything on carbs. It's a dumb way to think. The ancient medical system that I discovered helps you categorize foods according to your symptoms and the symptoms that those foods will help remedy. The only way to think about food as medicine, which is a good way to think about it, is to think of it as having certain effects on the body. And if you have an imbalance that is creating the exact effect that you need in order to get rid of your symptoms, well, then you should eat that food or that food combination. And when that imbalance no longer exists, i.e. when the symptom is gone and no longer persists, you should stop eating that food combination. Because anything that's strong enough to put you in balance is also strong enough to put you out of balance. This is the kind of stuff that I talk about in my new program to help people who are dealing with serious chronic digestive issues, and I want to make sure that you know about it. So if you want details on that, you can check it out. The link is below this video. And I've also put together a free 60-minute training where I go deep, deep into the ancient medical approach that helps give you power over your condition. So that if you're dealing with an illness right now and you learn from what your illness is teaching you, and you learn how to manage your organs so that you can control your body's self-healing system, so that you can recover from all kinds, a huge list of chronic conditions will respond to this. The best medicine ever developed for healing a chronic disease is in your body already. It's your body's own self-healing system. And if you know that, and you know how to manage this, see, for most people, it's not a stretch. If I say, can your body heal on its own? Like, duh, obviously, if it couldn't heal on its own, you'd be dead already. You know when you get sick, if it's a mild illness, you get well, okay? But chronic digestive illness is something else, because what has happened when you have a chronic digestive disease is your body is fighting against itself. And when I say your body is fighting it, what I mean is your organs are battling each other. This organ over here, say your liver, is causing problems in your intestines. And the intestines are related to another organ, and it's causing problems in that organ. And then the spleen is causing problems for the stomach, and the stomach has to do something, but that makes the intestines worse, right? So this kind of negative feedback loop, and by that I mean the result is negative. It's a feedback loop where something gets worse over here and it makes a bunch of other stuff worse, which makes that worse over there, which then causes the first thing to get even worse, which causes the other stuff to get worse. You get locked into this downward spiral. That's a chronic digestive illness. And you have to treat this according to very, very different principles, the kind of principles that, quite frankly, mainstream modern medicine is not based on. The mainstream medical system treats the body like a machine. It treats the body like, if you look at the cellular level, you can make more sense of it. That will not help you with chronic conditions. You need to look at the organ level, which is what I teach you, which is what I share with you in all of my videos and all of my work. If you understand this and you get to the bottom of your illness, you will be better off for having been sick, even if I don't care how sick you are, because I was really, really ill for a number of years, but I figured this out, and my life is, well, quite frankly, dramatically better than if I had never had my own chronic, very serious tropical digestive disease almost 2 decades ago now. So, if you're interested in more information, please check out the free 1-page sheet that I put together. It's just a 1-page PDF document. It's called 5 Tips to Feel Better by Tomorrow. That link is below this video. And also, there's a link to a free 60-minute training that I've done to teach you about something I call the pivot. Now, I didn't make this name up. The pivot is the name that ancient medicine gave to your body's self-healing system. This is something that is not really even acknowledged in modern mainstream medicine. If you ask your doctor, hey, can my body heal on its own? He'll tell you, he or she will say yes. But if you ask, but how would I do that? Is there something I can do? Are there some steps I can take? You'll either get no advice at all. It's not good for business, right? When patients start healing on their own. Or you'll get the worst kind of advice, which is, advice from a doctor about handle your stress and, chew your food slowly, make sure you get 8 hours of sleep, etc., right? As if any of that is going to really have an impact on a serious chronic disease. What I can show you in all of my material is how to manage your organs, how to identify what's going on, and then target your organ imbalances so that your body starts doing the healing, the hard work, the heavy lifting of healing your condition on its own. So if you'd like to know more about that, please see the links below this. That's enough out of me. Do you guys agree? Do you have any comments about what I've said? If so, let me know in the comment section. I always read them. And if you have something, particular topic or condition that you'd like me to speak about in these videos, please put that in there too. That's enough out of me. Thanks very much. And remember, your body knows how to heal on its own.